Hello friends, I'm Neeru Saxena. I'm going to discuss about computer languages. What are computer languages? First of all, we have to know what are languages. Language is nothing but the means of communication. The way we are communicating our thoughts, beliefs, ideas to somebody, that is known as communication. We use natural language to communicate to communicate our ideas and feeling. That may be in English, Hindi, Bangla, whatever the language we are comfortable. These all type of languages known as the natural language. All natural language uses a standard set of words and symbols for communication, so that the both the person to whom we are communicating, that also know the natural language in which we are communicating. That means the other person also know English or Hindi, because we are going to communicate in this particular language. Similarly, computer language is also having certain meaning, but computer cannot understand natural languages. What computer can understand? That understands only the binary language, that is the language of 0 and 1. To communicate with a computer, we require computer languages. Now, there are certain categories of computer languages. What are those categories? Machine language, assembly language, and high-level language. What are machine level language? The program or the instruction written by the user in the form of 0 and 1, that is known as the machine language. Because the computer is, or the circuit of a computer is wired in such a manner so that it can be able to recognize only the language of 0 and 1, that is known as the machine language. And those machine language instruction, because it has been written in the language which computer hardware can understand, that is 0 and 1, so convert them into the electrical signal needed to execute them. Machine level instruction has two part format. One is operation code, another is operand. Suppose I say A plus V. A and B are the operand and operation code is plus. So whatever the symbol we are using to instruct our computer, that is known as the operation code. Now, what are the advantages of machine language? Because a machine language can be executed very fast, because the program is going to be written in the same manner which computer can understand, so we don't need to convert it into another form. That is why machine language are executed very fast. Because they there are advantages as well as there are disadvantages also. Now, what are the disadvantages? Disadvantage of machine languages: these languages or these instructions are machine dependent. Machine dependent means, suppose I had written the instruction for X machine, so those instructions will be executed only on the X machine, not on the Y machine. That means we have to write another code of instruction for Y machine. It is very difficult to program, because we have to write the program in the string of 0 and 1. So it will be a lengthier way to write a program from in the form of 0 and 1, and takes years and years to write the application. Error prone, because we are going to write the program, that chances of error will be more, because we cannot differentiate the 0 is for the first instruction or this 1 is for the another instruction. Similarly, error prone and difficult to modify also, because it is very difficult to find out the error and debugging, or find out the error and correcting the error, which is known as the debugging. Second level of language is assembly language. It was introduced in 1952. Instead of having all the strings of the program in the form of 0 and 1, the program can be written by using mnemonic codes. That means some numeric code for instruction are converted into the alphanumeric code, like ADD for add, SUB for subtract, MUL for multiply, DIV for division. Although these are MOV for move, these alphanumeric mnemonic codes are going to be used or are going to be replaced for certain zeros and ones. So it was easier for the programmer to write the program by using certain mnemonics as well as certain zeros and one combination. By allowing the address of fixed storage location to be represented by alphanumeric name instead of numeric addresses. Previously, the numeric address was stored in the form of 1001, 100, 0001. Now this has been this had been replaced by certain address like REG, A, REG, B. So it was easier for the programmer to write the program by the combination of mnemonic codes and the certain binary digits. Providing additional instruction called pseudo instruction in the instruction set for instructing the system how we want to program to assemble our computer memory. So we can be able to guide certain instruction or certain additional instruction, although these are not the part of the program. These were not the part of the program, which are known as the pseudo instruction, and again giving the comfortable platform for the programmer. Now, once I have written certain mnemonic codes, so this has to be converted in the form of 0 and 1. For that purpose, we require the translation program that is known as the assembler. Now, what are the advantages of assembly language? As we know that it is easier to understand and use as compared to the machine language. It is easier to locate and correct the error that is known as debugging. Similarly, it is easier to modify because there is a demarcation line between one instruction and the other instruction. Addresses, we are not bothering about the instruction, but in spite of that, it is machine dependent. That means again I have to say that once I have written the program for machine X, it will be executed only on machine X. Otherwise, we have to write a new program for the machine Y. Easily relocatable, we can be able to find where the error exists. Some advantages there, certain disadvantages there. As I told you, it is machine dependent. Knowledge of hardware required because we should know the what particular memory address and where memory address is existing. Machine level coding, some of the machine level coding we do require because it is the combination of machine level coding and the mnemonics. Third computer language is high level language. Now, what is high level language? It is machine independent. High level language is something like English like language. That means whatever we are using, that English like language is known as the high level language, like perform a para, add A to B, which can be understood by the programmer in an easier manner. We don't have to write the program by using the string of 0 and 1. That is why these are the machine independent language. That means if we are going to code our program for machine X, it can be written on machine Y, machine Z, or a number of machine. Do not require programmer to know how internal structure or what is the internal structure of the computer, because we are not bothering about the register address or the memory address, but we have to write the instruction in the simple English like language. It is not going to deal with any machine level coding. Over here, once as we have done the translation through assembler in the assembly language, similarly over here everything in the high level language or English like language. So translation is required through compiler or interpreter. Some example of high level language is Fortran and COBOL Pascal, etc. Advantages: machine independent, easier to learn and use. Anybody can easily learn and it can be used. Errors will be less because it can be understood by the programmer. Lower program preparation cost because once we are going to write the program, it will be portable to n number of machine. Better documentation, we can be able to understand and write the program, and we can make the other person understandable by providing the better documentation. Easier to maintain. Thank you. Disadvantage: lower efficiency because we have to disadvantages. The first disadvantage is lower efficiency because it is not written by using the combination of 0 and 1. That is why we cannot be efficiency. It is not machine dependent, so we have to convert it, so efficiency will be much more lower. Less flexibility. Thank you.